going live on YouTube, and we should be live on the Tickly Talk.
That sounds kind of sus.
Tickly talkily.
Yeah, TikTok makes you go live twice.
History Daddy has officially turned into Ned Flanders.
Tickly Talk. I always say Oakley. That's where I get Oakley Dokley from.
Tickly talkily.
I knew there was something familiar about you. All you need to do now is become a Christian fundamentalist.
We are live, Count. We are live now. I have put live. We are live now. We are genuinely live. Before you go down that road, we are live. Okay, guys. But yes, welcome to the Christmas special of Daddy's Chat. And here with me, I have the fabulous Count Daedalus, both Mr. and Mrs. Irish of the pagan. No, well, what's the name of the podcast that I have literally next to me to remember the name? What's the name of your podcast again, guys? I'm so sorry. I feel really bad.
It's the pagan couple, all in sundry.
Thank you. I am
You've already messed it up.
Yeah, I'm literally. This is why they refused to let me replace Jimmy Kimmel. And I also have with me Emperor Historian. We have a very star-studded cast tonight for today's panel, and we will be reviewing.
Not even 10 seconds in, and he's already mucked it up.
Literally. It's fine. It's Christmas. That's what it's part about. But today we'll be looking into the best Christmas film of all time, or in history. And we should be live on both TikTok and YouTube. If we're not, then I've messed up, and we're gonna have to roll with it. But yeah, and we've also got a secret question at the end, which I've hinted to, which will be: Is Dark Side? That's not what I'm talking about. Is Die Hard a Christmas movie? Which
yes.
There is a lot of strong opinions from what I've had from the precursor I've had from discussion wise. But so, as I know what your one is, Count, do you wanna start us off with your favourite?
I don't want to start off.
I think it's going to be controversial, which is why I want you to start, because I want to start controversially.
I don't want to start. I've already said I don't want to start off first. I want to go through. I want to be second or third.
Yeah, I know, but damn it. Okay, fine. I couldn't throw you on the spot.
Second or third.
You want to be in the middle, is what you're saying.
I don't like starting off.
Okay,
Well, too bad. You're starting off then.
Emperor Historian, do you want to? I'll throw you in the mix then. We'll start off. I want to start off with a corner.
My favourite movie, you mean? Christmas movie.
Yes.
I think I have two. Which might be cheating.
Okay.
I can't pick between them. One is probably a bit boring and a bit traditional, but it's the I think it was 1984 it came out, The Christmas Carol, with you know the guy who played Patton, George C. Scott in the movie Patton, about the general. He plays Scrooge, and it's such a good movie. I watched it last night because I haven't seen it in about 10 years, and I thought maybe I just it's nostalgia. I thought it was great, and it was so good. I've been thinking about it ever since. Obviously, everyone knows Christmas Carol. It's such a everyone knows the story, but the movie's so good and the actor's just so charismatic, and just right away you love Scrooge, but you're not supposed to like him at the start, but the actor's just too good. You're just instantly attracted to him, and it's just such a good movie. And it's, I mean, when you think of Christmas Carol, sort of the book anyway, started like all the traditions that or a lot of the traditions that we have, but popularized them. So it's kind of a bit traditional, maybe a bit boring, but it is such a good movie, and it's just so sweet and captures all the Christmas spirit. And my other favourite Christmas movie is, maybe because I'm a bit of a history nerd, is A Lion in Winter. I don't know if anyone's seen that, but it's
I haven't seen
it's such a good movie. You gotta watch it. So it's from the 60s, I think.
Okay.
And it's got Peter O'Toole, Catherine Hepburn, and Anthony Hopkins, and it's about Henry II, the King of England in the 13th century. 12th century, sorry.
That's an interesting base for a Christmas film.
Yeah, and it's basically his Christmas sort of holiday, and he goes to one of his castles in France, and he invites his wife, who's called Catherine Hepburn, Eleanor of Aquitaine, and she's been locked up in jail for like 10 years, which she really was in real life. So right away, there's a bit of controversy, and then he invites all of his children that are alive. One's Richard the Lionheart, one's the future King John, and one's the middle child that no one remembers, Geoffrey. And he also invites the King of France. And so it is a Christmas movie, because it's based at Christmas time, and they're all, giving gifts. But then they're also all trying to vie for power. And he hasn't chosen an heir yet. And I think back then, it wasn't necessarily the eldest son will inherit. So the king, King Henry, Peter O'Toole, is trying to get John as king. Then Eleanor of Aquitaine is conspiring to get Richard as king, Richard the Lionheart. And then the King of France is just trying to cause mayhem because he hates the English. And it's just such a good movie, and it is a Christmas movie. Maybe it's a bit like Die Hard, where like, is it or isn't it? But it's basically Christmas. It's a Christmas holiday. There's a Christmas tree up. I don't know if they had Christmas trees back then, but there's a Christmas tree up. They give gifts, and it's just if you like history, you'll like the movie because it's really well done. And it's one of those like classic 1960s history movies where you know it's going to be somewhat accurate and not like modern history movies where it's just sometimes awful. So they're my two favorite Christmas movies. I can't pick between them. But yeah, I think
it's going to be a full bit of foreshadowing for my view of Die Hard, but I am going to say that if it's set at Christmas, it counts as a Christmas movie.
It's a Christmas movie, yeah.
And that's going to be... There's a bit of preview of my Die Hard view there. But we'll now cycle round to the next person on the panel. Mrs. Irish, would you like to go forward with your favourite Christmas movie?
Yes, I have two as well. Does it count if they're two different series?
No, that's fine. We'll
okay. So then I would say the Santa Claus movies with Tim Allen and the Home Alone movies. Those are classic Christmas movies. You can't go wrong with them. And if nobody knows the stories, then I highly encourage you go watch them while it's still Christmas. But in the Santa Claus, basically, Tim Allen is a single father, and he accidentally kills Santa Claus and then has to become Santa Claus. It's always a good time. It's one of my favorite movies. We actually watched it recently with the baby, about a week ago? And then, of course, Home Alone, we watch it every year, but only the first three. The fourth and fifth one are absolute trash. Only the first three.
I've only seen one. I've only ever seen number one.
Yeah, I would highly recommend the second and third as well.
You need to see the second one. Lost in New York is amazing.
Isn't the second one? All I know from the second one is everyone always gets hyped because Trump appears for some random reason.
Well, yeah, there is that as well.
For like
because
a half
he stayed
a
in
second,
fucking Trump Tower.
Yeah, for a half a second he is there.
That's
spoiled
a load of memes lately as well, hasn't it?
Yeah.
I think those are prime Christmas movies because they're classic and they're kid friendly, and that's what Christmas is supposed to be.
Especially the Santa Claus movies. I grew up on them. My favorite, I think, I never liked Santa Claus 3 is the one with Jack Frost, isn't it? Yeah,
I don't. It's not a good time.
I don't like number 3. I got annoyed when Jack Frost becomes Santa. I don't know why. It's a grudge I've had since a child, and I still have it.
I am the same exact way. Yes.
I haven't seen the second one.
Of Santa Claus. The second one, in my opinion, is the best one because, like,
he has to get married.
Yeah, when he finds his Mrs. Claus.
Oh.
It's really sweet, and 5-year-old me set that as his entire balance for romance.
A few weeks ago, I recently rewatched the first one with Countess, and this is going to sound really nitpicky, but all I could think of at the time was the special effects have not aged well.
No, definitely not.
But that's the issue with any film you've seen as a kid, because your brain.
That's just me. It's still a nice Christmas movie. Although there is one.
It's because it's classic. It brings back the nostalgia.
There's one thing that bugged me about it, and that's that. Spoiler alert for people who haven't seen it. It's that towards the end of how everyone sort of seems to just click all of a sudden that he is actually Santa, and it's not really. It just sort of happens, and I'm just sat there like.
Because it's magic.
Yeah.
Okay, it's Christmas magic.
That's what I was saying. That was what I was saying to my girlfriend because she had the same thing. It was like, well, how comes they all of a sudden just clicks? Like, how did that happen? And it was like, it's magic.
Yeah, there's literally magic solves everything.
It's just
like the Cupid arrow.
Going in, taking a quick look at the comments we're getting already. The King asks, "Let's go," and then Traveling Bard says, "What are we doing? What are we doing today?" I like the nice pun. And are we talking about Die Hard? And there's already debates about Die Hard going on in the chat, which I like to see. That's the end of the show. We'll be focusing on that debate.
That's gonna be the end.
And then the animated Christmas Carol is really good. I think is that the Jim Carrey one? There's a few animated ones, to be fair. I think that's Jim Carrey on this one about.
I don't know if it's the Jim Carrey one.
There's quite.
I know it's on Disney.
Ones. Yeah.
You see, the Christmas Carol story has been completely ruined for me because I don't know about you, history, but when I was in secondary school, the amount of times in English we had to pay attention, we had to do a Christmas Carol, Like for the amount of focusing on A Christmas Carol for GCSE English just forever destroyed any interest I have in that whole story, because it just did my absolute head in. And it really annoys me as well, because my sister's favorite, one of my sister's favorite Christmas movies is A Muppet Christmas Carol, and there's a part of me that really wants to watch it. And when me and Countess were looking at Christmas movies to watch, I thought, I'm not going to watch A Christmas Carol, because all I can remember is GCSE English. I'm just like, oh.
Well, I'm not going to comment on the Muppet Christmas Carol because it might appear later on in the show that I don't want to spoil. But
it upsets me. It upsets me as well, because it's another one of those Christmas stories that's a classic, but I just can't enjoy it because it's been perpetually ruined for me.
And looking at the TikTok comments, we have both the 33rd president joining us and King George III, who asks, "Does anyone want a warship?" I'm guessing that's a history reference that's gone way over my head, because George III and that sort of period onwards isn't my speciality. But, I don't know. If you've got one spare, I'll take it for free. But I'm not paying for a warship.
I'm not paying property taxes on it if that's what you're offering.
Cheapskate.
I love the fact that the American just immediately had a go at King George III about taxes. That's the most meta moment.
I will
of this
dump your
script.
tea. Hey, listen, look at me right now. I will dump your tea in the harbor again. Try me. No,
The most
give a shit about the tea in the harbour.
I'm still traumatized about the tea.
You're still traumatized about the tea. All right.
Priscilla says, "Ouch, ouch! A Christmas Carol I adore." Don't worry, Priscilla. Later on in the stream, there will be some love for A Christmas Carol.
I'm not shitting on A Christmas Carol. I promise you. It's just my school career ruined it for me.
Yeah, that's
I'm
what
I'm not bitching at the story. I'm bitching at the school system in the UK.
Okay, Irish.
Right, you think? Okay.
Yeah. No, we could. Yeah, well, let's not do politics on Christmas Eve with the school systems. Right.
You see how easy we can get carried away, right?
Yeah, how easy it is. Always
Irish.
finds a way.
Always easy. No, okay. So like,
yours?
I have a few Christmas movie favorites that I have personally. The Home Alones obviously are good ones. Specifically from 1 to 3, those are my favorite ones. And the other one I think I would have is the Polar Express explicitly.
Good choice. Good choice.
I love that. I just love the fact that, because like I think I was in 3rd grade when the movie first came out, and I was just like, I really wanted to like wake up and have an adventure like that with other kids like in the neighborhood, and like just the fact that this train was just magical, just like going through like the middle of a block in the neighborhood like that, and it's like the next morning it's just not there, like it never existed, So I was just like, that would be really cool if a train went through my neighborhood like that, As a kid going to see Santa up at the North Pole, like what child wouldn't want to go,
I think the baby wants to go on the Polar Express.
Oh yeah, she definitely wants to go on the Polar Express. I know that.
We actually should watch that tonight because it's Christmas Eve.
Yes, the perfect time
we
to watch
should.
it. If I don't go live later to watch the Santa Claus stuff, I may just sit down and watch like Gremlins and the Polar Express and stuff. And Gremlins, it's much like Die Hard. I know it's controversial, but it is a Christmas movie. Gremlins is a Christmas movie.
I haven't seen it, so I can't judge.
Watch it tonight. Trust me. That's on Christmas Eve as well, actually.
I'm never going to be able to go to the pub.
the most British reaction.
I just want to have a drink. Speaking of which.
Actually, I was about to go to you for your choice count. We're actually steaming ahead. We're steaming ahead on this bit, and I feel like the Die Hard debate is gonna take us like 40 minutes alone, because I know it's the most controversial. I was actually thinking that Home Alone, because that's one that's on the fence of, is it? I know it's set at Christmas, but it's not really Christmassy themed, is it?
What do you mean it's not even Christmassy themed?
Like all he does is go home and eat food, and like that's what I would have done at any point in the year if I was left alone as a child.
When was the last time?
Christmas, yeah.
I can't speak for the third one because I haven't seen it. But when was the last time you watched the Home Alone movies?
About 10 years ago.
That's why. That's why you're 10 years out of tradition.
The fact that you could say there's nothing Christmassy about them means just tells me you haven't really watched them in a long time, because it's set at Christmas. The underlying theme of it is Christmas.
Okay, I'll retract my statement.
Speaking of which brings us on nicely to my favourite Christmas movies. I think it is the first and second Home Alones. I think they are a timeless classic. I genuinely think that they're a timeless classic. They've got pretty much everything you could possibly want in there from a Christmas movie. They'll make you laugh. They'll make you cry. They're wholesome. They're a little bit. There's a little bit of sense of peril and menace in there from the what's it called? The Wet Bandits, so to speak. But yeah, it covers a wide range of emotions. I don't think there's going to be a time where they won't fall out of popularity from everybody. To be honest, they're kind of set in stone. Like, especially in the UK, everyone just associates Home Alone with Christmas. Like, it's always going to be on during Christmas.
Oh yeah, you're gonna count if you ever get the time to watch the third Home Alone movie. You're going to laugh your ass off. You think two burglars like fighting a kid is funny? You should see North Korean terrorists try and take on a kid.
What the hell?
Yes,
wait, that's
essentially
the third.
Yes.
Okay, instead of having Harry and Marv, two conventional burglars in Chicago, right? It is the third one is specifically about basically contractors from a North Korean terrorist organization steals a computer chip that is supposed to like jam radar signals for ICBMs like coming through and shit, and they misplace that package with somebody else's, and it ends up going into a toy car for a kid.
Oh wow, that does sound funny, to be fair.
That is quite funny.
It is.
I don't know.
It is hilarious. How this kid takes on these terrorists is hilarious, dude. You gotta watch it.
I've just always avoided the ones after the first two because it's not the same family. It's not the same kid.
Granted, it's not the same family, but at the same time, the Home Alone 3 was very much a good Christmas movie.
Funny, then
it's worth it.
It's always It's always good to give new things a go. And speaking of new things, my choice is the adverse of what Kat was saying earlier. The Muppets Christmas Carol is my choice for the best Christmas film in all of history, right? Because it takes the original story and it even puts it in the traditional setting. But it's just the clash of Jim Henson's creativity with these Muppets walking around. And what makes it even better is I normally hate musicals. I cannot get on with musicals at all. But I will happily sit back and watch the Muppets Christmas Carol and sing along with the songs. Because it's just the way you have such a professional actor in Michael Caine, like very easily putting forward the range of emotions he needs, and like that sort of Shakespearean traditional acting style you got with actors of his generation. When he's talking to Kermit the Frog, he's just casually having a discussion with Kermit the Frog about getting Christmas Day off. And it's this beautiful clash. Like, the storytelling is the best. Obviously, for some reason, in the modern edits, Disney edits out. There's a certain scene. We all know the story of like a Christmas Carol when it's Elizabeth, isn't it? The woman he loves, that Scrooge loves, isn't it? Yeah. When I can't remember her name. Yeah, when Elizabeth obviously leaves Scrooge because he's becoming Scrooge. Like that scene is really powerful and it's really upsetting because she's explaining like how he used to be this amazing man and now all he cares about is money, and obviously he's like very much the sort of fantasy setting of hoarding all this wealth, and then at the end when Scrooge is redeemed, they instead use a musical number to show now he's a family man, now he's charitable, now he's keeping Christmas as it should be, as it, that's the point of Christmas, was like going back before presents and stuff when it was first about in the early, or the end of Rome, so to speak, in the early days of the Christianity. It would have been about being charitable and like helping out your neighbour and stuff like that. And so I think the Muppet Christmas Carol, possibly even more so than the original book, like digs into that message. Also quite like the Scrooge McDuck version, that that Disney did a while ago, but that's a much shorter version. That's again, but both the Muppet Christmas Carol and the Scrooge McDuck version, like Mrs. Irish was saying earlier, they're very adaptable for children. Like that, like they're both. Especially because I remember reading the book quite young, and I remember like as a kid I was like, this is horrifying. Charles Dickens is terrifying, but like the Muppet Christmas Carol book takes that message and presents it to children very well. And I think like a lot of my moral compass probably comes from that film. Although it does ruin it because Disney for some reason edited out the sad song where she leaves him, because they thought it was too traumatic for children, which is a whole other rant that I'm not going to go into at Christmas. But it's just something I have to point out, because if you want to watch...
You almost got Mrs. Irish started. Did you see the face that she made?
It's always Disney, isn't it?
Yeah.
It's always Disney. It's always got to be Disney.
It's always Disney. But yeah, they edited it out, so I am going to say if you want
I think you should rant. We've got time.
Shall I go into it? Well, if you want to watch the definitive version, I would say get a VHS and find it on tape, because in most of the discs they sell
Good
now,
luck finding a VHS in today's day and age.
Yeah. But most of the ones they sell now do have it edited out, even on like if you watch it on Disney Plus or whatever. I'm not suggesting this because it will violate both TikTok and YouTube guidelines. I'm not suggesting anyone sails to Jolly Roger and goes on to any specific websites where you can still find it.
Third party.
I would not recommend that, and I definitely do not know of any sites you could get that, but it rhymes with Schmeiratsmay. And I don't know anywhere that you could.
As much as I advocate for third party always, don't do third party this time. Definitely don't do third party.
Yeah,
unless if you want a virus on your computer,
do not do it.
By all means, go ahead.
Yeah, that's true. Yeah, you've got a very good virus protection if you're going to go that route. But now we've all said our favourites. Now it's time for the little mini debate before we get to Die Hard. Which of our choices is the best?
Home Alone. Definitely.
I feel like I'm very easily outnumbered. I'm very easily outnumbered. Me and Ian are now very outnumbered in our choices.
I'm sorry, but it's just one of those things. It's one of those things. I haven't actually met a single person that doesn't like Home Alone.
And if you have met that person that doesn't like Home Alone, 9 times out of 10, he's a communist. So
9 times out of 10, they're a communist, or they don't like Christmas anyway.
It's basically the same.
Or you could just call them a Scrooge and just,
Yeah. What about you, Ian? What were you going to vote for?
Well, to be fair, Home Alone, I actually watched it right before we joined.
Oh, really?
Yeah. Because I hadn't seen it in about 10 years and I couldn't really remember it, so I thought I better watch it. And it is pretty good. I mean, it's not my favourite, but it's probably number 2 or number 3 for me. So I think it probably wins.
Okay.
It is a classic.
I'm going to make sure you watch Home Alone this Christmas. If I have to drive to you, I will make you. I will sit you down and make you watch Home Alone.
Well, I'm actually going to watch a Muppets Christmas Carol with my family after this. We've got some fighting talk from Meridan on TikTok.
Go on then.
We have Home Alone is an overrated movie. What's your response to that, guys?
Oh no!
Excuse me.
Ready for a scrap on this.
Home Alone is overrated. Leave TikTok.
No. Home Alone's not overrated. Mariah Carey's "All I Want for Christmas Is You" is overrated.
That is overrated. That is overplayed, overused, overrated. I rest my case.
I have a very controversial opinion about that song.
You love it, don't you?
You
I
better
actually
fucking
really like that song.
Oh my god!
I feel like it has to be played while you're decorating the Christmas tree, and that is the only time it's allowed to be played.
No, I will play it. The only time I will play that song.
On behalf of everyone that works in restaurants and retail, that is the worst song in the world.
But I worked in retail.
That is fair.
I worked in retail and I still liked it.
It is basically
coming from somebody.
All Christmas songs, it needs to be abolished.
Coming from somebody that used to work 2 years in retail, that was by far one of my worst nightmares.
Vote for Count Daedalus if you want. "All I Want for Christmas Is You" is abolished.
But listen, I will play that song.
I'm going to release a 1-page manifesto that just says "Ban Mariah Carey."
I will play that song on Christmas Day with a glass of whiskey in my hand as a celebratory purpose, so that I will never have to hear that song again for another 365 days.
Yeah. It's like this is the one time this year I'll allow myself. We do have some comments from one of my mods, Mr. Luton. I cannot read that message out. I don't know how it got past the TikTok censors. So I can't read that out on either of the guidelines.
Oh, am I going to have words with him again?
No, it's fine. Yeah. I'm just glad that he hasn't set any polls up. Normally he sets a poll up that's just really offensive, and I don't notice because I'm streaming looking at a screen. And I look down and I'm like, why is everyone complaining in the chat? And I'm like, oh, he set up another poll.
I notice these things and I quickly pull them.
Okay. So we're half hour in. We've actually gone through the films a lot quicker than I thought we would. So this means we've got the last segment of this. Is Die Hard a Christmas film? So I'm going to start wherever. I'm going to start individually. You've got to state your argument for your point of view. So Irish, we'll start in the middle. What's your argument for Die Hard?
Yes, because if you watch the movie Die Hard 2, Die Harder, right? John McClane, a New York City police officer, goes home to his family that currently resides in California for the Christmas break, right?
Mm-hmm.
And they stay, and I think it's called the Yakuzuma Tower, which is, in California. So they're already celebrating Christmas over in that tower. It's supposed to be like an apartment complex, run thing. And, everybody knows how the story goes. Terrorist attack. He goes back into action. This, that, the third, whatever. And there's a whole bunch of Christmas references that happen throughout that movie. And that is my argument.
Okay.
And at the end of the day, he actually gets to go home to see his daughter and his wife. So
I'm going to use my mum's arguments because my mum radicalised me on this because we had a massive argument about 3 years ago about how it's not a Christmas movie. She completely made me do a 180. It takes place on Christmas Eve. It's about a father who's actually trying to get home for Christmas. He's struggling to be reunited with his family on Christmas Eve. How Christmassy can you get? Mrs. Irish just leaves. Now I have a machine gun. Ho, ho, ho. Do I need to say any more? There's more Christmas songs in Die Hard than there is in the classic Christmas movie White Christmas.
I even think he says the line, "Merry Christmas, you filthy animals," and one of them as well. Yeah.
A Christmas present literally leads to the villain's demise. Just saying.
Mrs. Irish, have you got? I have a funny feeling that you've said previously you disagree with this.
I do disagree.
Okay.
Because if we're just basing movies on whether or not they occur at Christmas, we could include so many other ones as well.
Well, it's not
for example,
like what?
Like Harry Potter, for one. There is Christmas happening in that movie.
It's only briefly, though.
Only about 10 minutes.
Yeah, briefly.
There's no magic, which I think is very necessary for a Christmas movie. And it's not exactly family friendly, is it?
If that's the case, then that means that Home Alone wouldn't be classified as a Christmas movie according to your criteria.
But you also
Home Alone's too violent.
But it's family friendly. Nobody is dying.
But if it needs to be family,
if
it needs to be family friendly, that eradicates Bad Santa from being a Christmas film.
Yes.
That's true. That is true. But we all agreed that Home Alone was a good Christmas movie.
Yeah, no, it literally got voted the best.
Yeah, but still, there's just because nobody got killed in Home Alone doesn't mean that there isn't violence in that movie.
I want to add to my
there's no obvious blood or death.
I want to add to my answer earlier about best Christmas movie. I think Bad Santa's one of them as well.
Just changed. Wait, hang on. I've just had a message on. I've got a message through on. I've had a message through on TikTok. You were very right, Count. Streaming on TikTok means we actually get more feedback. The chat's a lot more faster on TikTok. Tepes says Rambo 1 is technically a Christmas movie. As a Rambo fan, no, it isn't. Rambo 1 is not a Christmas movie.
I'm sorry. Also, Die Hard's set at Christmas. It's actually set at Christmas.
Exactly.
Actually, no.
Rambo the entire movie during the entire duration of the movie. Whereas Harry
Potter, Christmas only lasts about 5 minutes of screen time.
Actually, that's what I'm saying.
Yeah,
Harry Potter lasts the whole year, whereas Die Hard is set on Christmas Eve.
No, Tepes is right. Tepes is right. It is Rambo set at Christmas, which means it is technically a Christmas film if we're using that on the Die Hard.
And if you want an example of Christmas magic in Die Hard, here, how about this? It snows at the very end. When does it ever snow on Christmas Day? Just saying.
Emperor Historian, have you got any arguments for or against Die Hard being a Christmas movie?
I do, but I'm just thinking, talking about Rambo, I think Rocky 4, isn't most of that set at Christmas time?
Yeah, Rocky 4 is also set mostly at Christmas.
That might be the
now
best.
We're just finding more nonchalant Christmas movies that nobody thought were just Christmas movies. All right.
but if Rocky 4, that's the best one. But for Die Hard, I'd say like Christmas movies are all about a couple of things, either about like redemption or forgiveness. Like it always starts with someone doing something wrong and has to like redeem themselves or has to prove themselves. Like Home Alone, he gets locked in the attic at the start, I think, and then he has to redeem himself throughout the movie, and he makes his family realize how much they miss him. Die Hard starts.
He's a bit of a shit. He's a bit of a shit.
Die Hard starts. His wife is leaving him. She uses a different name. He's completely abandoned his kids and his family, and then he redeems himself. So it matches like the Christmas idea of forgiveness and redemption. Set at Christmas time, loads of Christmas references. I say
focuses around family.
Movie. Yeah, exactly. So I'd say yes, there's violence and he kills a lot of people, but easily a Christmas movie because it matches all the criteria of what you hope from a Christmas movie.
And there's
a Christmas tree in it. And I watched
and there's a Christmas
tree. And the movie The Holiday with Cameron Diaz and Kate Winslet. I watched that the other day, and that
I haven't seen it in a while, but
that has hardly any references to Christmas. There's one scene where there's a Christmas party, and then other than that, you have no idea it's Christmas time. So I'd say if that can be a Christmas movie, then Die Hard can easily be a Christmas movie.
Only the first two though, because I don't think Die Hard 3 counts as a Christmas movie.
Yeah, I don't think that one is.
Do you want
Rocky 4 would be Christmas movie. That might be the best. Then.
I can say something that's really going to annoy absolutely everyone.
I've
only seen Die Hard 4.
Ooh.
Why have you not seen the other 3?
I don't know. I don't know.
What's wrong with you?
I don't know.
I'll be honest. I've only ever the first time I ever saw them was maybe 3 years ago.
I've heard that a lot. There seems to be two camps with Die Hard. Either the poll on YouTube. Actually, I'll put a poll up on TikTok as well. But that seems to be like there is two camps exactly. Everyone has either seen all of the Die Hards, seen one in a weird order, or only recently seen them.
I've never seen number 2. I think I've seen all the others.
Oh, Mr. Luton has put up a poll. Mr. Luton's put up a poll saying, "Is History Daddy yapping?" I knew he'd put one up somewhere. He forgets I can see them coming up. Oh dear.
So then I have two. If we're going to talk about whether or not they occur at Christmas, would you consider The Nightmare Before Christmas also a Christmas movie?
Yes.
Yes.
No.
I would. No, I would. Right. Because this is genuinely, I think the ultimate viewing experience for The Nightmare Before Christmas is you watch the first half at Halloween, pause the movie, remember where you were, and then watch the last half at Christmas. I think that's the ultimate.
That takes too much work.
Too much work.
Now I'm onto a weird topic of what Christmas films are there that are technically not Christmas films, but also kind of Christmas films.
What about Narnia, The Lion, the Witch, and the Wardrobe? That happens technically at Christmas.
The first one maybe.
Yeah.
Because that's set around Christmas time.
Hey, history. I'm just reading off of your comments real quick. Tepes also said that Violent Night, terrible Christmas movie, but it has sexy Viking Santa.
I've not seen Violent Night. I've had my family members have seen it. And as they
Viking Santa, that's a sentence I didn't think I'd hit tonight.
I actually want to see that. As a Norse pagan myself, I want to see a sexy Viking Santa.
Yeah.
As someone who is purely doing academic research, I assure you, I want to see a Viking sexy Santa.
Sounds a bit. What's the poll at? The poll is currently sitting at 100% of people believe that Die Hard is a Christmas film.
I've just put up a poll as well on Instagram. I'm going to see what it says. I'm going to monitor this as the stream
as the stream continues.
I don't
So far-
have the following for that.
Yes.
This is true. Wait, I'm
Man.
loving these comments now, guys. So Iron Man 3 is technically a Disney film. Yep. Yeah, that makes Iron Man 3 a Disney film.
Yes,
Disney-
it does.
It's a Christmas film.
It
Iron
has
Man
a
3 is
Christmas.
Christmas.
Iron Man 3.
I would cast Narnia as there's kind of an underlying theme during the first half of Narnia, the first movie, that there hasn't been in 100 years. So I would say, the first Narnia could qualify as a Christmas movie.
Because they're quite literally fighting to restore Christmas, if you think about it.
For one extent.
or time.
Well, in what
time
sense?
is,
We're also trying to remove tyranny by the Narnia version of Satan, but never mind.
Not to bring up the man I hate most in history, but to be fair, that could be a parallel for fighting Oliver Cromwell, who very notably banned Christmas.
Revolution against Christmas.
Yeah, he quite literally he banned it for to my knowledge, he banned it for pagan symbolism in his eyes, and also drunken revelry, because Puritans are fun people. But if you're Puritan and watching, please keep watching and subscribe. I don't have anything wrong with you, but I have a problem with you.
Maybe about in 5 or 10 business days. We'll figure it out.
Yeah. Is there any more in the chat, people? Can you think of any more? This is curious now. I know this has gone a complete tangent of where we were meant to go, but I'm really curious now of and we've also got another 20 minutes of the show to film. We've sped through these. We've agreed too much. We need to save more controversial things. We've agreed too much. That's the issue.
Okay, well, could we talk about...
To be fair,
Could we talk
Mrs.
about
Irish didn't put up
non-movies?
much of a fight for Die Hard not being a Christmas movie.
Yeah, to be fair,
Look, I don't agree with it, but
Mrs. Irish was
let you
also
have it.
outnumbered 4-1.
Yes,
Quite
obviously.
Sorry about that. My window literally just blew wide open. I completely shat myself.
It's the ghost. It's the ghost of Christmas past. It's the ghost of Christmas past coming to see you.
No, that could say I've conquered my demons of the past. Get lost.
What are you saying, Ian?
I read something recently, actually, that said Love Actually isn't actually a Christmas movie because it could be based at any time and it would still be just as good. Like, Christmas is just
I've recently
setting.
watched Love Actually for the first
I
time.
watched it. I watched it Friday night. Wait, what did you think? I think it's my second favourite Christmas film.
I've actively avoided it because I thought it was cringe. Yeah, send me to the gallows all you want. But then Countess sat me down 2 weeks ago and made me watch it. I thought, this is actually quite good. So if you're watching Countess, I admit it, I was wrong.
But if it was based in the summertime,
it's all right.
It would be just as good.
That's true. If it was based around the summertime, nothing would have changed. But it's one of those things where it's become so talked about that it's now a Christmas classic when really it doesn't matter. I could watch that in the summer and it would feel the same.
I don't think it would work as well if it was set in the middle of summer during a heat wave.
Yeah, because there's a lot.
It wouldn't
one of the underlying themes of Christmas is bringing people together.
Yeah,
that's true.
Don't get me wrong, it would still work, but it wouldn't have as much of a meaning. I think it would be a bit more cringe if it wasn't for the fact that it was set on Christmas. It'd be a little bit cliche.
I think for me though, it's got really strong Christmas memories because I remember watching it very young as a kid with my mum, and I remember getting to the Emma Thompson bit where she opens up the CD wrapper and then she goes to cry, and I remember my mum turning to me and my brothers and being like, "And if you ever do that to a woman, I'll disown you." And it's such a fond family memory to me. So I think part of the reason I like the film is because I have that familial link, if that makes sense.
And because History Daddy watched a movie, he will never ever cheat on anyone ever. Take notes, women.
Literally, yeah. to every.
See, education works.
To every mother out there with an 8-year-old son, sit him down and make him watch Love Actually tonight. Don't let him do anything else first, and force him to.
And at the very end, give him the biggest death stare ever. Say, "You ever do that to a woman?"
Yeah. It's fine. It borders on torment, but as long as the kid finds it funny, it's a good happy memory. So it's 50-50. They're either going to go to therapy or it's going to like be a fond memory for him. It's one of the two.
I think for me, Love Actually is on the same level as Bridget Jones's Diary, which is very much a chick flick. So if none of you have seen it, I completely understand.
I will admit I haven't.
Yeah, it also happens at Christmas, and it's about, we follow this one character, Bridget Jones, who is very much a Mary Jane type of character, and then she gets together with her boyfriend on Christmas Eve, and it snows, and it's very magical. But it's just one of those movies where I wouldn't necessarily watch it with my daughter, you know.
Yeah, that makes sense.
To be fair, I don't know if I'd want to. I don't know if I'd want to watch Love Actually with my 8-year-old son. I think it'd be a little bit too young. Just
Right?
saying.
Yeah. Also, we've got some more suggestions in both chats now. Denizen TG, nice to see you, bud. Says Daddy's Home 2. I haven't seen it. I haven't seen it, so I can't actually verify if that is a Christmas film.
I can't comment on that either because I haven't seen it either.
No.
I could tell from the silence that like none of us had seen it. I was like,
no.
I've seen the first one.
And also it has Will Ferrell in it, and I'm not a fan of him. So
not Will Ferrell.
Amazing.
Yeah, I love Will Ferrell.
No,
he's not a fan of a lot of comedic actors that are out there. She doesn't like Adam Sandler. She doesn't like Will Ferrell.
To be fair,
Adam Sandler's
biased because I have an open mind.
He's one of those people I used to like, but he's a bit of a wet wipe now.
Yeah, Will Ferrell is a lot less funny than he was. I mean, I'd say Adam Sandler is very Marmite. I can understand, like, not his comedy is very like Grown Ups 1 hilarious, Grown Ups 2 what, like is a very casing point.
I feel like his like comedic sense, Adam Sandler's comedic sense as an actor has just kind of gotten dry over the years. Like he was good in the early 2000s, but like his content that he's releasing nowadays, it's not as good as it used to be. Yeah, it's not as good as it used to be.
No, the last couple of movies where he was with Jennifer Aniston for they were like murder mysteries. Those I'll watch. His earlier stuff, I can't stand it.
I think he also got a lot of praise for that Diamond movie. I can't remember what I know it's very famous.
Uncut Gems.
Yeah. I know a lot of people are going to be mad at me in the chat for not knowing the name of that film, but I know she's meant to have a very good performance in that.
I liked his stuff for 50 First Dates and Happy Gilmore. I loved those movies with him in there.
A lot of his 50 First Dates is a heartbreaking movie, to be fair.
Yeah,
it's very it's bit. I suppose it's a happy ending, but it's very bittersweet, and it also technically does cover a problem that a lot of people face that is just not talked about. It's like a very small group of people to suffer it. So I suppose, and it's also done very well. It's not the sort of modern movie where the entire film they have to be like, and this is a bad thing. Enjoy the messaging. It's actually a film with good writing, with a strong, important message to it.
Right.
Tepes says, "Isn't Castaway with Tom Hanks not set at Christmas as well?"
It would. I feel like at the end of that movie, it was a Christmas setting, but at the same time, like I don't think he was looking for the outcome that he was hoping to have, because like the man was classified as dead for 2 years, and then he just rises from the dead. You know, essentially, adminly speaking, because like they couldn't find his body, so they either had to report him as missing or they had to report him as dead. And because the plane crashed in the middle of the ocean, they just assumed that he was dead.
It's the likelihood.
So and like his wife went off to remarry another man, and it's just, I don't know. I don't think he was just expecting the reaction that he wanted to get after coming home for being away for a long time.
Imagine that, like you've survived on a desert island with like just felt so focused to get back to everyone you love, and you get back, and then like your wife's already married someone else after 2 years. I would like,
yeah.
And doesn't he have to leave like because he's friends with, he makes a coconut. I've never seen Castaway, will admit. Doesn't he make a coconut into like a friend in that?
It was it was a used volleyball. It was a used. So like he just took a bunch of like pine needles and shit, and then like he just poked them inside the volleyball, then like he ended up cutting his hand when he was trying to like make a fire, and he ended up stabbing his hand with a stick, and then he picked up his volleyball with his bloody hand, threw it across, and that's how Wilson got his face. But
Fair
yeah.
enough.
I mean, 2 years on a deserted island, you got to make some kind of friends, whether if they're animals on the island or inanimate objects. You know what I mean? But
yeah, you gotta. Yeah, well,
there's a point where you become completely insane. Unfortunately.
Yeah,
I would probably go insane.
Humans we are pack animals. We do need other humans to keep us mentally stable. Okay, right. The King has 2 suggestions. One is Edward Scissorhands, a Christmas movie, and is the movie Babe a Christmas movie? I've not seen either of these films.
It's been years since I've seen Edward Scissorhands. I feel like it has a Christmas setting in there, but it's not very like.
It doesn't take place solely at Christmas.
Yeah, it doesn't. Like the entire movie doesn't revolve around like the Christmas time frame, if that makes sense.
Yeah.
Like like the movie is very drug out, if that makes sense.
And I feel like Babe is definitely set at Christmas. I remember seeing the posters for that as a kid.
Is.
So, okay, I suppose that makes sense. And then we've got is Lethal Weapon set during Christmas, and also one of the goats, The French Connection, sadly named French. To save Count from going on a tirade about the French, we're going to ignore that you said that. I know. Remember, Count, we're on YouTube. We're on YouTube, Count. Go headlines. Go headlines.
So far, my poll about Die Hard, 78% say yes.
See, I've got 50%. I'm on 50% on both at the moment, which is interesting.
I did see something that only 30% of the British public think it's a Christmas movie. Which is
But is that the actual national poll?
I think I saw it. I might have misremembered it, but I think that's what I saw.
Well, I never got that poll. Doesn't count.
So does anyone have anyone have a movie where like it's not a Christmas movie, but it came out or you watched it first near Christmas time, so you associate it with Christmas? I remember the first Sherlock Holmes movie, you know, with Robert Downey Jr. I think it came out on like Boxing Day.
Yeah.
And I went to watch it on Boxing Day. So I always associate it with Christmas, even though it's entirely not a Christmas movie.
Are you saying like watch a movie near Christmas time and you associate that movie with Christmas?
So if it's like the first time you see it,
that time.
If that's the case, then Terminator 2: Judgment Day.
Terminator 2: Judgment Day is officially a Christmas movie.
Oh, Jesus.
Because like if I remember somewhere in the back of my head, right? I just remember watching the Terminator series with my brother, and my aunt comes over and to my house, and she's just like, "Can we just watch something else? Like, I'm not trying to see people get blown up on Christmas, you know."
Of all the movies, I was expecting you to say that you could associate.
Terminator was not. Terminator. Do you know what?
Terminator series could not be further away from a Christmas movie.
Slightly more fun angle, I would say for me, the film that I associate with Christmas that isn't is the what was that one where the house gives them magic powers and they live in the valley? The Disney movie that came out recently. It's like
what was it called? Oh, what was the plot about?
So like it was set in South America.
Encanto?
Encanto, yes, that was it. I associate Encanto with Christmas because we watched it on Christmas Day. That was our Christmas movie. Napoleon Bonaparte is in the chat saying Merry Christmas, everyone. Merry Christmas, Napoleon. It's good to see you're doing very well.
You know what? Because it's Christmas, I will be nice.
Yeah, normally I bully Napoleon in the chat, but I will be nice to him for this one
Merry
time.
Christmas, you filthy animal.
Annabelle says, "Is Gremlins a Christmas film?" I was very solid with my view that it is a Christmas film earlier, but I'm open for discussions if you guys disagree.
I've never seen the film, so I've got no comments to make on it.
Yeah,
there's a lot of movies I haven't seen.
What about you, Emperor Historian? Have you seen it?
I've never seen it.
Am I the only one that's seen Gremlins? Okay, then I'm going to go full Pinochet and say I'm the ultimate authority, and Gremlins is in fact a Christmas movie.
Right, that's it. Because you're doing that, it's not a Christmas movie.
So you're going Paul Pot. You're gonna go Paul. Yeah, that's the Idi Amin movie. That's the Idi Amin movie.
All the Christmas movies and all the Christmas
The
trees.
King responds with no, Gremlins isn't a Christmas movie. If you want a specifically Christmas focused horror, it'd be the Krampus 2015. I've had that suggested to me actually.
Right.
It's an alright movie.
I don't like horror
if
films.
we're putting Krampus on the list of Christmas films, you may as well just add a Serbian film at that point.
Whoa, no. Wait, it's the Serbian film set at Christmas. It's the Serbian
I can't
film.
remember. I was traumatized through half of the movie, but
I've seen clips of the Serbian. I can't stomach the whole film. And if you're watching and you're under the age of 18, do not go and Google that.
Leave.
Do not. Yeah. Technically, it's a family friendly stream, so I can't tell them to leave.
Is it? Fuck.
This is actually the highest view count I've had on the stream for a while. Us.
What, 4 people?
No, I got 10 on. Oh, no, 12 on YouTube. TikTok's.
You got 4 on TikTok, I think. Yeah, I'm mildly moderating it.
I'm trying to look. Yeah, I'm trying to watch both at the same time.
Has Mrs. Irish's opinion been changed?
But that's true. Yeah, have we convinced you that Die Hard is in fact a Christmas movie?
Have we convinced you that Die Hard is a Christmas movie?
It's gonna be. I'm gonna tell y'all right. My mic is cutting out. It's going to be hard for you to convince her that Die Hard is a Christmas movie because I've tried for the last 5 years of my marriage to convince her, and I have not convinced her once. So if I can't convince her, definitely none of y'all can convince her.
A Christmas movie has to be something that my daughter can watch on Christmas Eve. If it is not child friendly, it's not a Christmas movie.
Okay, but Violent Night has Santa Claus in it. And but it is very violent. So is that a Christmas?
Exactly. No, it's not a Christmas movie then because there's death and dying, and it's not magical at all.
But that is magical. Violent Night is magical because Santa uses magic on the bad guys.
Okay, well, if
it's sexy magic,
sexy Viking magic.
As history said earlier, Bad Santa is not a Christmas movie then.
And they made 2 of those films. Sorry, go on.
No, with that logic, Bad Santa is not a Christmas movie, and it absolutely is.
I love that Seth Rogen Christmas movie as well.
Oh, come on.
Wait, what's Seth Rogen one?
He did a Christmas movie.
Oh, is that?
They get
the one he did
drugged up and drunk on Christmas Eve. But that's a Christmas movie. It's basically Christmas time. Christmas Eve, they have a Christmas party.
So then if we're going to separate it, we have to separate it into kid-friendly Christmas movies and adult-friendly Christmas movies. If we do that, then I can agree that Die Hard is a Christmas movie, but only if they are separated.
So that's your only criteria for what is a Christmas movie, whether or not it's child-friendly.
Yes.
Okay, but what about, because very recently, I know he's not exactly the nicest of Hollywood figures, but Mel Gibson did a movie where he played Santa Claus and he saved the elves using magic from a hitman because a rich kid hired a hitman to kill Santa because Santa gave him coal for being naughty. That's the actual plot of the film. It's a really weird film. It's a brilliant film. If you can get past the fact that Mel Gibson's in it, it's a really good film. Because I can't remember.
Mel Gibson's a good actor, but like,
he's not a nice person. He's not a nice person.
He's not. He's not a nice person. Okay, I got to do some background fucking research for Mel Gibson then, if that's the case.
What's the deal with Mel Gibson?
He's made
Batman.
Yeah, that one. Yeah, he's made some certain comments about certain racial groups that we're not going to go into.
This movie just came out. This movie just came out in 2020.
Yeah, but Fat Man is a really good movie because the entire message is don't be good or Santa might come and shoot you with a silencer. So it's a very extreme. Like, at the end
that's very extremist if I'm being real myself.
Worldwide. Never mind the block of coal. Be good or Santa will come around with a fucking 44 Magnum and blow your brains.
With a silencer on, so your parents will never know.
I completely endorse this new idea of Santa.
Okay, right. We'll do
a new idea of walking around your house with a Glock and a suppressor.
Right. we'll do
It's
last.
one way to make kids behave.
We'll do last few comments and then I'll check the polls. And then
apparently during COVID, apparently there were some people that were telling their kids that that Santa's got COVID, so he won't be coming around to visit because they've been so naughty, and genuinely kids were believing it.
I don't know
terrible.
if that's so mean. That's Piers Morgan's household.
Yeah, but the kids were being little shits anyway. So
yeah.
Like,
then it's okay.
I used to get actual phone calls from Santa where he would like interrogate me on if I'd been bad or good or not, and then like he'd be like, "Well, I've heard from my informants that you've misbehaved," then and then I'd like beg Santa for forgiveness every year.
Wow, your dad went double, triple down on the whole Santa thing.
I plan to make Santa a very, if not real entity, then at least something that she can pretend to believe in.
You've got to go. The best one to do, the trick my parents did all the time, was they would find like on Christmas Eve, they would look for a plane outside with a red flashing light. Then they would call me and my brothers down and be like, "Look, he's flying. Look, you can see Rudolph." And if we weren't sleeping, they'd be like, "Look, he's nearly here. If you're not asleep, you'll like miss the house." And we would like, right? It was it was so sweet. Yeah. They worked. We always went to sleep on time. Right. We're gonna look at the last few comments and then we'll finish off the polls.
That would have never ever worked for me because I would struggle to fall asleep. Like, I'd be sitting there trying to desperately get to sleep, but because I'm overthinking it, I wouldn't be able to sleep. I'm like, I can't get presents this shit.
Just having a full-on mental breakdown.
Full-on autistic breakdown because I can't sleep.
All right, okay, we'll do these last few comments and then we'll obviously check the polls and then final statements for everyone. Before we actually do that, I want to quickly add Melissa Fairlady. She couldn't be here tonight. She is working on one of the news channels in America. You've got many of them, and I can't remember which one exactly it is. But I want to give a shout out to her because she couldn't be on here. But I also want to say, if you've got time, go and check out her she's currently trying to rebuild the Sundowner with a couple of English guys. The Sundowner obviously being Charles Lightoller's ship. And I've done that a couple before, and I promised her I'd give it a shout out to make sure you go and check that out. To help
Charles Lightholler was a complete badass.
Yeah, he was an absolute legend.
Badass, he was.
And we're currently trying to get his ship rebuilt.
Survived the Titanic, fought in World War One.
Yep. I think in total, because I had her on the podcast ages ago, he actually survived 4 different shipwrecks.
He was an absolute beast.
Beast. And he's actually in the film Dunkirk. The old guy in Dunkirk. That's actually Charles Lightoller. That's actually on the Sundowner, and that's the ship they're trying to save. It's the ship that he took to Dunkirk. Yeah, that man was. He's up there with Sir Christopher Lee as one of like the most amazing men. But last few comments. Krampus is terrible. You'd be fine. It's not remotely scary. I've heard it's not that scary, but I've also heard it is quite terrifying. But then again, I'm horrific with horror movies. Oh no. The King. So is the Boy in Striped Pajamas a Christmas movie?
No, it's not a Christmas movie.
No, absolutely
not.
Okay. I watched Die Hard as a child at Christmas. Well, Annabelle says. As I said, Annabelle says, I watched Die Hard as a child at Christmas. We don't stand Mel Gibson films. We can stand the film. Separate the art from the artist is a very film student thing of me to say. You can tell.
For instance, J.K. Rowling from Harry Potter.
Yeah, let's we don't want the J.K. Rowling separate the art from the artist stuff is always scary because people get very mad about that.
I'm not talking about J.K. Rowling. I'm talking about another famous artist who did
No.
stuff.
No. I know where you're going with that. YouTube guidelines count this. But yeah. Just let the guy into art school, for goodness sake.
Oh my god!
There may be children watching the stream in case Santa is real and doesn't carry weapons. if there are children watching this stream, he does, and they have silencers. Be good for your parents tonight.
No, if you're a child and you're watching this stream, I question your parents' moral decisions for you.
If you're watching the stream, any parents, if you can hear this stream right now, your child should not. I mean, it's already finished, so it's a bit late now, but they shouldn't be watching the stream.
My sister used to say all sorts of stuff about Santa. Like, I'm not going to mention them here, but if I do anything bad.
Also, I just want to add this real quick before we actually do
he has
cut
a
this
suicide
off.
vest.
Righteous violence from Die Hard is child friendly.
Yeah, that's true. Yeah, because it's saying it's exactly. It's a positive message. It's saying to the children, "Don't be a terrorist," and then you won't
It's
be
the same
blown
in
up.
Home Alone.
Don't be a terrorist, but fight terrorism.
Exactly.
It's the same in Home Alone. If you try and break into a toy store that gives all of its profits to a homeless charity for children, brick.
Exactly. Right, and with that, I'll go around. Actually, Carolizaz, I apologise deeply if I've mispronounced your name. Says have a good Christmas Eve day / night, and a Merry Christmas Eve / day night to you as well. So we'll go around. Actually, we'll start off with the duo, Mr. and Mrs. Irish. Do you have anything you want to plug? All of the links are down below, so everything there. Yeah, I've got all the links for you down below.
Okay. I mean,
we have a podcast. It's The Pagan Couple, All in Century. We are available on Spotify and on Stitcher. We haven't posted in quite a while because life got in the way, but we will be on a regular schedule soon.
And,
we don't know how soon. We don't have a set schedule just yet, but the moment that we start posting again, we will let you know.
I'll drop a story out on Instagram for you. Get the word out.
All right.
I think the baby wants your chin.
No. Emperor Historian, have you got anything you want to plug?
I guess you can check out my TikTok if you want. And watch Line of Winter's Day. It's nice, and that's my plug. There you go.
And Count, anything you want to plug? You got anything for Christmas coming up?
I suppose I can plug my TikTok account, Count Daedalus, and I can also plug my merch store because I'm going to be pulling that off soon because reasons. But yeah, countdaedalus.co.uk if you want to get some Englib merch.
Yeah, your last chance to get some Englib merch if you fancy it. And now for the moment of truth, the poll. Ending the poll now.
Okay, what's my poll?
On YouTube, the results were 69% of the audience voted yes. Die Hard is a Christmas film. On TikTok, where's the end poll option? Should have already ended. Is Die Hard a Christmas film? Oh, no one voted on TikTok, or it hasn't registered. To be fair, I'm not good with the TikTok polls. I'm only just started them, so I may not be able. I may have pushed the wrong button.
Do you want my Instagram poll?
Go on then.
It's pretty close to the Brexit referendum, to be honest. 56 yes, 44 no.
It's pretty hilarious. But yeah, I just want to say thank you all. I'll end it on TikTok first, and then but I just want to say thank you to everyone for coming on, giving up your Christmas Eve to come on and talk to me about Christmas films in history. I'm going to take this snowman off because it keeps hitting the microphone. The snowman's
head bashing his head into the mic.
Yeah, he was trying to release. He's trying to release himself. But yes, thank you all for coming on, and I want to wish everyone watching a Merry Christmas. And everyone on the panel, Merry Christmas. And as always, I hope you all enjoyed. Thank you all for watching.
Merry Christmas,
I'll see you
filthy animals.
in the next
and a
one.
Happy New Year.
Bye. And end live and end stream. And we should be done. And immediately closing both OBS.